Welcome back to the Relationship School podcast. I'm your host, Jayson Gaddis.
And I'm Ellen Bader.
And we are here to help you with your relational life. And remember, this podcast is all about that. It's how do we get better at communication, love, connection, marriage, partnership, parenting, family life. I feel like we cover a lot of ground here in terms of helping you get more relationally competent.
With education and information from great sources and experience.
Yeah, some of the world's best have been on this podcast.
Totally, yeah.
All right. In this episode, we want to talk about attachment styles again. Because it keeps coming up.
Yeah, we get so many questions.
Yeah. So we're going to dive into why different attachment styles is a good thing. Why are we talking about that, Ellen? Because, like you just said, we get so many questions.
So many.
Thanks, everybody in the Facebook group.
We love it. Thank you.
Y'all submitted so many awesome questions.
Keep them coming.
Yeah. And it seems like where this question is coming from could be interesting to start. Like, why would someone ask? There's like an assumption out there that if you are different and have different attachment styles, that's somehow incompatible or something.
Right. Questions about like, if I have an anxious attachment style, my partner has an avoidant attachment style, like, should we just break up? Like, can it ever work?
Yeah,
Will we always fight?
Is there any way through this dynamic? Oh my God, is this going to go on forever? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is going to go on forever.
The nervous system response under stress might go on forever. And how are you two going to deal with that?
Yeah.
That's way more interesting than when is this, like, I got to find a better person who's not so anxious.
Who somehow got their shit together.
Yeah, or isn't so avoidant.
Yeah, or, the nervous system can evolve too. Like our responses to stress, especially with the support of a relationship, can really improve, like dramatically improve.
Especially with a supportive partner in a relationship.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like a supportive partner,
willing,
a more securely oriented relationship. That's another way to think of it.
Yeah.
Where you help each other navigate the stress of life.
Completely. I think when people set it up as, okay, you're, the easy way to talk about it here, we talk about a lot, is seek, avoid, right? And if you took your conflict, if you know your conflict style, a conflict attachment style, you can get that on our quiz, right? relationshipschool.com/quiz. And the results, there's 4 results, but the 2 primary ones are seek, avoid.
Do you want to explain that for people?
Yeah, so seek is just the anxious, ambivalent attachment style. And the avoid is the insecure, avoidant attachment style. Both being insecurely attached. And this is most relationships that have challenges have a dynamic like this. And we often find ourselves with someone that's different from us.
Yeah.
Opposites attract. We tend to find an opposite. Like if you're angry, I'm really nice. If you're extroverted, I'm introverted. Like these are really common relationship dynamics.
Yes. And, the theory is that differences make us stronger. I think that's true. I think that in a partnership, differences make the relationship stronger. You have more capacity, more breadth, more ways of handling life. You have just a more diverse system. However, under certain kinds of stress, differences can feel threatening.
Very.
And so people will go through a stage in relationship where they feel like, wow, you're so different, you're so interesting, it's so cool, tell me more. And then after a certain point in time you get into like, wait, you're really different, and that I don't think that's a problem. Yeah. And that's a stage too of differentiation. But when it comes to attachment styles, it's not that different, in that it's not a death sentence if you have different attachment styles. Or a deal breaker. Doesn't have to be at all.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere in the research or anything on adult partnership and attachment where you're supposed to have certain styles and those make better relationships. It's obviously the more everyone can move towards secure in the way they handle each other, the better off they're going to be, because that's going to provide them a lot more energy for life.
Yeah. And by the way, thanks to those of you who came to our masterclass on attachment styles. We went a little deeper here than we're going right now.
Yeah.
And we have an upcoming class that we'll talk about in a minute. And yeah, again, if I find myself with a partner who's doesn't want to ever talk, or doesn't seem like they ever want to talk, and I want to talk about the relationship, and hey, where are we at? What's going on? I'm a little anxious over here. That's pretty normal. If I am with someone, I've chosen someone who's kind of keeps avoiding and never will return to have a conversation with me, yeah, that's a huge problem. But it's not because of the differences in your attachment style. It's the differences in how you're working with your attachment style.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a distinction that's important.
A securely, an avoidant partner who's moving towards security understands the impact of their distance on their anxious partner, is considerate of their feelings and returns and does actually have a conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's moving towards security on the avoidance side.
Mm-hmm. And couples can work together to navigate this so that neither of them has to feel too stressed for too long. Whether it's you haven't returned, I don't know what's going on with you, like that anxious kind of stress, or the stress of, whoa, I can't get any space. I need to think. There's too much coming at me. Like that's another kind of relationship stress. Neither's easier to manage, really. Neither one's more fun. They're both challenging. And the idea is that you work together to find some way through those dynamics that feels reasonable to both of you, and actually I think is in the service of both of you kind of growing and developing more capacity as a human in relationship.
We have a new couples course coming up. We're super psyched about.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's going to be really good. This is the culmination of many years together in a partnership, married, family, kids, teaching this stuff, living and breathing this stuff.
Working with couples.
Yeah,
training with amazing mentors of ours.
So we've smashed this into an amazing couples course that we think you're really going to like. And it's going to have you feeling like you can get the connection you want and be yourself.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. And back to opposites just for a minute, because this feels important too, is if one of you is avoidant and one of you is anxious and you're both kind of insecure, interested in moving towards secure, that's the function of your connection, is you want to get stronger as a team over time. And you kind of need those opposites, the opposite kind of tension almost, that polarity, to, I think, become a more robust team. If we were both just anxious, someone would eventually start to manifest the polarity of that. And one of you would start to avoid a little more. Just like if you had two avoidants in a relationship,
that's true. One
of you is eventually going to raise their hand and say, I want to talk. This doesn't feel good.
Right. Like there's always someone who's a little stronger on the spectrum in a way. And so the polarity will arise even if you have the same attachment style, actually. We've seen that.
Yeah. And so what we're suggesting here is your differences, and we've said this on many times on the podcast, is what makes you stronger. If you can learn to work with those differences effectively. And that's what our courses and classes and this podcast is all about here at the Relationship School, is trying to help you both get better at handling yourself, your own activation, handling your partner, their activation, handling each other. And again, I think opposites are kind of cool experience in relationships. It's just, we tend to find someone who's, in the beginning, it seems similar, but over time starts to become kind of different.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all different.
I'm always on time. You're always late. These kind of like little opposites and big opposites. You lead, I follow. You're loud, I'm quiet. You're messy, I'm neat. So an action step here could be for you to look for where you two are opposites, and can you see that it's a strength? Right.
Totally. That is a good exercise. How your differences actually serve not only you in life, but me and our relationship.
Yeah.
The ways you're different than me, and even the ways that you're different from me in a way that's uncomfortable for me.
Totally. It's likely going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's to moving towards security, and really maybe we just say a couple words about that.
Okay.
Because that can be a interesting term. Right?
Yeah. Totally.
We're talking about something much more than just security. It's
Yeah.
really powerful. How would you describe that right now?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, I think I would start by saying, and this is based on one of the questions I saw, that like security isn't necessarily the end goal. It's not like I don't see it as like the end all be all for a relationship. I see it as like, we need to have a secure foundation that we can grow from, build from, create from, become more ourselves from. Like it feels like this springboard into life, and it creates like a real resilience in the relationship so that differences are welcome and interesting, or funny versus like threatening and difficult and triggering. So I feel like it just becoming secure is like turning all that soil over into a foundation that something can grow out of. It's like rich soil, and it's not. The word secure and security has this like kind of clinical, like dry sound to it. And that's just not how I experience it at all. It feels more like this is like the bread and butter of having a really enjoyable, fun, interesting, creative, loving,
easeful
relationship.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Yeah, and I would just say, kind of in one sentence, it's where we're in a relationship where we can be fully ourselves and get the kind of connection we want. That's a secure relationship, you know.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think most of us want that, right? We want to be freely who we are, and we want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
A lot of us.
Right, and I want you to like enjoy all of me. I mean, I know I might annoy you at times, but
at times you trigger me big time.
But
in general, I can work with those triggers, right?
Totally.
So
we talk about them. We know.
Feeling like you can be yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
And when you don't like how I clip my nails or floss my teeth or something, you can be like, okay, this is how he does it, and I can make room for that neurotic
I can breathe.
way he does this.
Right. I mean, I think that full self-expression is so important, and we still. Some people don't like the sound of this, but we still have to consider the person we're with.
That's right.
Like I don't get to just.
It's not a free for all.
It's not a free for all. I'm not a toddler. I'm not single.
You're not an angry musician or something.
Right. I live in a home with a person and other people where how I am affects people, and so freely expressed, but in a way that shows that I also care about the impact over there.
That's security. That's another. That's a nice addendum, which is
gotta addend.
I care about how my partner's impacted by my free, full expression.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
So bottom line, folks, differences are a good thing, and try to keep your eye on that frame instead of I've got to find someone more like me. Yeah. If you're in pain relationally and you need immediate support, our coaches can help you. I've trained almost 100 coaches at this point, relationship coaches that are amazing humans, and they have the chops to help you get through this hard time, this hard moment you're going through. Or if you want to actually hire a coach and have someone in your corner to continue to up-level your communication skills, your listening skills, your conflict skills, these folks are incredible, okay? So all you need to do is go to relationshipschool.com/MRC. That stands for My Relationship Coach. So relationshipschool.com/MRC. All right. If you want immediate, direct, effective help, check them out. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share one of these videos with a friend. We want to help the planet get their act together around relationships. And you are one of them, so thank you.